It's 15441. I just walks up from a 1. 1, 2, 3.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Unity Renaissance. What a beautiful day. I say that every Sunday. It's always a beautiful day. Please stand and join us for our first song. This is who we are, and we feel the love whenever we're together. This is why we're here, to serve the world and one another. We're feeling called to find a higher way, and to remember why we're here today, to love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember who we are. This is where we grow and find the truth that always sets us free. And this is where we play and enjoy like-minded company. A place where we can share our joy and pain. A place where everybody knows your name. As we love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember who we are. And in remembering to love and serve, we're transforming lives and transform the world. As we love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember to love, serve, and remember who we are, and remember who we are, and remember who we are.
A little walking music there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity Renaissance, both to you who are here in the room and those of you online. I'm Gail Boynton. I'm one of your board members, and I am pleased to be your ministerial host today. Unity is positive, practical, progressive Christianity. We follow the teachings and the example of our way shower, Jesus. And Jesus was all about love, wasn't he? And from this beautiful consciousness of love, we honor all names for God, all paths to God, and all expressions of God. And every one of us, in fact, everyone on the planet, is an expression of God. Here at Unity Renaissance, we have a vision. Would you say this with me together? A spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. And how do we get there? We get there through our mission. And this is big. Let's do this together. We transform lives that transform the world. And now let's come together in prayer. Just breathe in through your heart space and connect with that intuitive intelligence that comes through you. Feel the appreciation and gratitude for this gorgeous day. And we come together to hear a beautiful message about a beautiful mind that runs through all things, including us. Today, we dedicate ourselves to be of service to one another. And let's send out some compassionate care and deep love to those in Maui who are suffering right now after a terrible, tragic situation. Let's send them some real deep compassion. Feel it coming from your heart. See them healing and returning to their normal lives at some point. But feel that love in you. And today, as we go out into the day, begin to feel that uplift that you can then provide to others around you in hopes that they will catch that wave. Let's give thanks for all that we have. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is.
Thank you, Gail. Beautiful. You know what to do now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wherever you are, whoever you are, wherever you're from, your soul is welcome here. That's right.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be.
That's your part.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time in the service where we're going to turn and greet our neighbor with a friendly handshake, bow, or a hug. And please repeat to them the divinity salute. The divine in me greets the divine in you, and we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
Soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I
here.
Good job, y'all. Yeah.
Good morning, Unity Renaissance. So great to see every face in the sanctuary with us today, and so great to have you welcoming us here today from online. My name is Lisa Smith, and I am your platform host for today, and I will be sharing the daily word with you. And I would like you to say our word together. Our word for today is understanding, with the affirmation, with understanding, my spirit is always cool. Cool. One of the best ways to remain calm in any agitating circumstance is to practice understanding. Seeking to understand gives me information and insight and eases my reactivity. It keeps my emotional thermostat dialed down if I am tempted to lose my cool. Perhaps poet Rudyard Kipling was referring to understanding in this poem when he wrote of the importance of keeping your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. Properly mastered, my power of understanding gives me the strength and presence of mind to be a beacon in times of trouble or crisis. Whatever this day may bring, I will carry the light of understanding with me. I am cool in spirit. I am understanding. Our scripture verse is from Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27. One who is cool in spirit has understanding. If you would like prayer support for anything this morning, we have several options for you. Here at church, you can fill out a prayer request form and the prayer table that's outside the chapel. You may also submit a prayer request online on our website, unityrenaissance.org. There's also the 24-hour, 7-day-a-week Unity Prayer Ministry, Silent Unity, that you can call anytime, day or night, 816-969-2000. And for those who are here, we have prayer chaplains available to pray with you today after the service in the chapel just past the bookstore. Would our prayer chaplains for today please rise? Thank you for your service. And would you all now please rise and sing the Lord's Psalm with us?
Holy Creator, we praise your name, your will in heaven and earth the same. Provide our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's all. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom, power, and praise, with you began and with you stays. Holy Creator,
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
for all the kingdom, power, and praise, be seated.
You give if you wanted to, just like a boomerang, it will come back to you. It will come back to you. It will come back. Every time you fight against something new, just like a boomerang, it will come back to you. Every single thought that you hold is true, just like a boomerang, it will come back to you. It will come back to you. Dark into night and day back to nighttime. Now circles completion, like rain to the river, to the ocean, return to the sky. After you were born, you forgot what is true, but like a boomerang, it will come back to you. You may not recall what you came here to do, but like a boomerang, it will come back to you. It will come back to you. Come back. It will come back. All that you desire when you ask it to, just like a boomerang, it will come back to you. It may seem like fortune sailing out of the blue, but like a boomerang, it has come back to you. It will come back.
Boyd and Lily. Okay. Well, good morning. Why does it look dark out there this morning? I don't know.
Bring up the house lights.
Is there less light? Okay. Well, I can live with it, I think. Anyway, I can see your smiles. And you know, the other thing I can see is the people who sit in the same seats every week.
And I remember if you're here or not, okay? Yeah, just so you know. Yeah. But this morning we're going to continue talking about living untethered. That's the word, right? Yeah, living untethered. And last week we talked a little bit about this thing inside of ourselves. We call it self sometimes, but we don't know where it is. And we certainly don't know where it comes from, unless it comes from divine mind. And I don't know what that really is. It's a definition of mind, but I don't know what it really is. And sometimes I find myself really challenged to find myself, okay, to know myself, to understand what I'm thinking in a given moment. And that's all about the mind that we work with. And as we go on this journey together, what's happening, I hope, is that each of us are beginning to say to ourselves, who's in there? Hello, are you there? Where are you? Come on, show up, I need your help. And I'm beginning to start each morning just about that way. Now, Vicki thinks I'm a little crazy. I say, good morning, honey. Who's in there? She said, I got to take care of the dog. Anyway, so we are on this journey to try to make sure that what's happening is that we're not projecting into the world the moments that we regret, the moments that we hang on to, the moments that really hold us back because we hang on to them. But we're trying to go on this journey of where we become self-enlightened, where we start to understand that we don't have to live in the human predicament, that we are more than that. And so this morning, as we start on this journey, what I'd like to do is just share with you, that's the book there, it's in the bookstore, by the way, that I'm talking about and using as a series. And the first thing we're going to talk about this morning is self-acceptance, the art of letting go. When we truly accept ourselves, all of our experiences, and know that they're actually okay, that's when we are able to let go. That's when we're able to step into life, to be comfortable with ourselves, to be joyous, to be fun, and to be compassionate, to be caring, and to be love itself. When we're willing to step in and let go of the moments in the past. And so what happens is, Michael Singer in a few chapters talks about this thing called the mind. And what is the mind? And there are a lot of different definitions of it. But basically, the mind is a series of definitions psychologically that is at work within us. And it's something that we literally can have control over, even though we don't think so sometimes. Because to have control over the mind means that I am directing the mind to direct the brain. Now, the mind and the brain are not the same thing at all. The mind manages the brain if you let it. But if you forget about that and you get into some kind of rut, what happens is the brain takes over and you're not using your mind. You feel like you're losing your mind. You ever felt that way? Yeah. And so what happens is that we have to understand that you and I, as the mind comes through the heart space, the way I see it, that I can use that mind and have it guide and direct my brain to think in a way that is in my highest and best interest and in your highest and best interest. I get to see the world through a different lens. I know, as we know in Maui, that there is tragedy that goes on in the world, and I can feel for that. I know that as I look at the war in Ukraine, that there is tragedy there, and people are losing their lives, and people are hurting, and people are losing their homes, losing children. That's a sad thing, a tragic thing. But I don't have to let it literally control my life. I can choose to do something about it if I'm in that position. I can certainly choose to pray about it, to meditate on it, and to see something different coming into being. But I don't have to let it weigh me down unless I choose to. Now, one of the things about the mind is that the mind experiences each moment that you live in. And what we know is that in each moment, oh, by the way, here's a picture of empty mind before I get to that, okay? Now, I'm going to get this right, just I've practiced all morning. Paramanda, that's close. Yogananda. That right? Yogananda. Wow, that's really good. Thank you. I used to say that really easy, and then something happened in my mind. Anyway, he says that he got up every morning, and again he would say, "Self, are you there? Good morning, self. Self, I want you to guide and direct me today. Self, I want you to set my intentions today. Self, I know that you are in charge of my life." Now, that's a pretty powerful statement, and it's a powerful understanding so that he came to the point that he did know himself. And he knew how to express ideas beautifully. He wrote a couple of books on the Gospels about Jesus. And the metaphysical interpretation are fantastic. But he did that through divine mind. He did that because he could go deep within himself, find himself, and be himself. And that's what we want to learn to do. But to have empty mind means that I get to the point in my meditation, I don't have any thoughts. Now be careful. If you think you're there, you might be sleeping. But what happens is that you really, and I don't know if I've ever been there or not, I like to think so a couple times, it's just the silence. And you're in the silence and you know it. And there are no thoughts popping up. And it's very, very, very affirming. But we can't stay there. We don't live life with an empty mind. Well, some people might try to, I guess. But we don't live life with an empty mind. Instead, what we want to do is understand ourselves from the perspective of our thoughts. And when we see our thoughts, what we start to understand is that our thoughts bring about the idea of personal mind. And personal mind is an accumulation of every moment you have experienced. Not every moment you've lived in, every moment you have experienced. During this lifetime and possibly during other lifetimes. It's integrated in and becomes a part of who you are. But it's personal because no one of us have had the same experience at the same time in the same way. I mean, we all know that we see an auto accident. The person on the right saw one thing, the person on the left saw a different thing, the person behind saw something else, and the person in front, if they're looking in the rearview mirror, saw something else. And so we all have this perspective on life and this projection that we put into life so that none of us have the same moment the same way. And so as we grow in our personal lives, the personal mind develops. And that personal mind now is taking in the moment. And when it takes in a moment that is painful, it stays there. It's the moment it remembers if we don't let it go. And we tend not to want to let it go. You know, some people really love living in drama. And even though it's somewhat uncomfortable, even somewhat painful, they still like being there for some reason because they know they're there. But at the same time, when they learn to accept themselves and accept that moment as it took place, and that is part of their growth opportunity, part of developing the personal mind that helps them on life's journey, it's then that they let go of the drama and step into the experience in a positive and loving way. What am I learning from this experience? And so we have this thing called the personal mind. We also have the psyche. I thought that's what it was. My eyes are not as good as that screen. So anyway, so what happens is we have this psyche that we develop. Now the psyche is basically our total consciousness. It includes 4 elements, the way I like to look at it. It is what Unity calls the super consciousness. That's the Christ consciousness, the creative consciousness, the beingness consciousness, the God consciousness, whatever you want, and the divine consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And then we have also what we are conscious of in the given moment. What we can think about, the things we are aware of that we've experienced in our lives. And that's called the consciousness, our consciousness. But it's not our total consciousness, because there are two other levels of consciousness that appear according to Carl Jung. And they are, one, the personal subconscious, and two, the collective subconscious. The personal subconscious is where maybe a child is told when they're very young that they're not very smart, and they buy into it. And they continue to believe it. And then they reinforce it by looking at other people and say, I'm not as smart as that person. So mama or daddy or whoever said that to me must have been right. And they carry that into life. And all of a sudden, one day, maybe something happens and they realize they really are smart. That they really do have the capacity to learn. And then, lo and behold, they start to learn. So that's an example of personal mind. I have taken a moment, I have projected it into myself and outside of myself. I have perceived what I think it means, and I buy into it. And I have lots of those moments. I'm sure you have. Lots of moments we can look back at and say, yes, I understand that. And I understand the effect it's had on my life. That's the personal mind at work. And then there is the, personal subconscious at work. And then there is the collective subconscious. Collective subconscious is the way that we experience the world and the effect it has on us. And you know, sometimes we buy into some of the stuff that the world teaches us without questioning it. I'm thinking this moment that in my family, a number of years back, there was a great deal of racism. And some would not accept that they were racist, and some did. Those who did started to do work on it. I watched my father change in his idea of what racism was. And I saw him let go of the resistance that somebody of color was less than he was. I saw him grow into having friends who were of another color, black and other, and also he had a real problem, because he was in World War II, with anybody who was Japanese or Japanese color. He said when he was younger and got back from the war, he'd walk down the street and he'd see somebody and get mad at him. Didn't even know him, just get mad at him. Because of the trauma, because of what he was taught and how he was trained to survive. But over time, about the time he was 40 years old and all the way up until his death, 89 years old, he grew, and he continued to grow because he started to see people for what they were. He started to understand that what he had been taught was not healthy. He started to feel much better about himself. And actually, what happened is that in the community he lived in Lake Gaston, there were a number of people who were African American, and there were a number of people who were white, and there were a few people who were Taiwan and the eastern, Far East countries. And they surrounded him in the neighborhood that he built in. And they were his friends. And we'd go to a party and everybody showed up. It looked like international night. You know, that was a lot of growth for my father. It took a long time. Because he had to get past the war. He had to get past his upbringing in the South. So he understood that we're all equal. We're all children of God. That we all have the capacity to love one another and care for each other and have fun together. And that's that collective unconsciousness that's around us and about us. And it affects how we think if we're willing to listen to it or get captured by it. And it is this collective unconsciousness that we have to work through, and it is to step out of, look at our personal consciousness, and then when we look at our personal consciousness, we start to understand who we are, what we are, and how we need to change, if we need to change. How we want to change is more important. So that we become more of spirit, more of a divine realization here in this plane, in this place. And that we do have that capacity to do that and know how to do that. And so what happens is we come back to this thing of the mind. And you have a beautiful mind. We all have a beautiful mind. Now some people like Einstein, we think have a more beautiful mind than we have, okay? But really, when you think about the power of your mind, somebody invents something like the iPhone and you learn how to use it. Maybe. But you don't have to know how it was built. All you have to do is learn how to use it. And some of you are extremely effective with it. I mean, I love to watch people working with two thumbs. I go, wow, that's really cool. And then when I do two thumbs, nothing happens. Except a lot of stuff on the screen. But anyway, we each have a beautiful mind. We see our children, if we elect to, in a beautiful way. We see our lives evolving, and we understand that we have the power to make a difference maybe in another person's life. We see ourselves coming up with unique thoughts that are different than everybody else's. And that is a person that's a trailblazer. And we all do that. So don't fool yourselves. You have beautiful, wonderful, loving, caring, compassionate minds. That's why you are the family that you are here at Unity Renaissance. And so we look at this and understand ourselves in such a way that this beautiful mind has the capacity to, when we live in it and accept it and rejoice in it, to give us a life that is meaningful, that is fulfilling, that's not just looking at some past moment and clinging to it, but letting go of it. Because when we let go of those moments, you see, they get in the way of our ability to be creative. They get in our way of our ability to be loving. They get in the way of our ability to actually see the other person as the Christ. So our mind overall, in many ways that it shows up, is just fascinating and powerful. And so as we start to see this, what we start to understand is that when we are willing to accept life even as it's dealt with us, and when we're willing to step into that life instead of step away from it, when we're willing to let go of fear and live in love, we are now accepting ourselves for who and what we are. And then we are able to let go. Being aware of your mind, where it is, how you're using it, all is about the art of letting go. And when we let go, that means we are letting go of resistance and we're stepping into acceptance. We accept the way things are in this moment. But maybe you're not comfortable with that, so we create a new moment and create a new way of being and a new way of stepping into what is life itself. And so now what we will do is go into our moment of meditation. So let's just relax. And as we relax in this moment, we breathe in. Take a nice deep breath and then release. Feel your body relaxing. And you feel that relaxation throughout your body. What you are doing is moving into a journey where you find yourself at the seat of the soul. That place where the mind brings us into our spiritual self within our body. And in this moment, know that you, the you in there, is in charge of your body, is in charge of your life, is in charge of your ability to love and care and make a difference. Take a moment just to feel the energy in this room. Feel it heart to heart, soul to soul. And as you do, know that this is the energy of life itself. And as it rises in you, use it to heal anything, any moment in the past. To let go. To be the spirit that you are. And be able to use your mind as a wonderful and beautiful thing. And so now let's just be in the silence, feeling ourselves sitting at the seat of the soul. And for this experience of being in oneness, we are grateful, we are thankful, and we say, Amen.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
That was my cue, wasn't it? Well, we've come to that part of our service where we, as co-owners of this church, support it. And there are many ways you can do that. There's actually a basket in the back of the room that you can put your offering in on your way out. You can go to the website at unityrenaissance.org, and I think you can also do that on the app because, well, the app can do pretty much everything. And also the simplest way is really to use your smartphone. That's the way I do it, because once you've set it up, it's just, you put in the amount and hit send. But for the first time, you'll type give and send that to this text number.
540-418-1228. Text now, yeah.
I know that always makes people giggle, but you remember the number, don't you? Yes, that's good advertising. So please join me in our offertory blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful.
Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Back in good measure, it's giving back to you.
much. Little song about it, how that beautiful mind works. We always get what we look for, don't we? Well, if you're busy counting calories, you'll never taste the food. If you're looking at the night, you'll miss the sunrise. If you curse the rain, you'll never see the flowers bloom. Listen for mistakes and miss the beauty of the tune. Every day you're gonna find just what we look for. We create this world we live in. So when you look for good, good's what you'll be given. Who could ask for more? Who could ask for more? And if you give attention to what's working in your life, you will soon forget about complaining. And if you have the vision to look deeper than one's skin, you'll open up the door to find the friend that lives within. Every day we're gonna find just what we look for. We create this world we live in. So when you look for love, love's what you'll be given. Who could ask for more? Who could ask for more? So when you look into the mirror, what will you be looking for? Every day you're gonna find just what we look for. That's the power we've been given. So if you look for good, good's what you'll be given. Who could ask for more? We find what we look for. Who could ask for more? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so it's time to welcome our newcomers, and we have a gift for you. And then inside there's a card you can fill out and take it to the bookstore. What I'd like you to do now, if you're here for your first time, raise your hand and keep it up so that those who have these gifts can find you and bring them to you. Please raise your hand if you are here for the first time. We have one over here. We hope you will take advantage of the free gifts and then come back again and join us, and you won't be a newcomer anymore, but we'll love you just as much. Promise.
All right, so we are continuing our Sizzlin' Summer Sundays series today after church. Our music team will be sponsoring it with some ice cold watermelon.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have a watermelon seed spitting contest today, and the first prize is a piece of watermelon.
Ice cold watermelon. And then next Sunday will be the final one in the series. Our board of trustees will be sponsoring that, and it is Sunday.
Ice
So
cream.
make your
Ice
own.
cream. That's a food group.
Yeah, craft your own wonderful, cool creation. and talk with some of our Board of Trustees members.
Awesome, awesome. I'll be there with gloves. Coming up on September 1st, so that is the Friday of Labor Day weekend, the Story Weavers are going to be here for our Labor Day celebration. And it will be, that's a Friday, 7 o'clock at night. Now it's free, and there will be free snacks, but there is one little caveat. You need to bring your own chair. So bring along chairs, because otherwise, or a blanket to sit on, something like that. They do music, storytelling, and deaf performing art. And the picture here is apparently George Everett's. Yeah, he's a great photographer. I see his stuff on Facebook all the time. Anyway, that's at 7 o'clock on the 1st. Hope you'll come.
Awesome. We have our next monthly vegan potluck coming up next Sunday, the 27th. Next Sunday. And so if you have questions about that, talk to Lisbeth Chiraboga over there. Bring a favorite vegan dish to share.
I forgot to mention something about the storytelling event. They need volunteers for this event, and you should see Ginger. She'll be out in the narthex afterward. She's waving her hand there. They do need some volunteers. I'm not sure what the volunteers will be doing, but she can answer your questions for you. So the Summer Wellness Series continues through August, and it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Coming up this Tuesday, 4 o'clock, it will be Katie Cook doing the yoga, and this is at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then on Thursday at 4 o'clock, it will be Donna Shannon with the crystal bowls and, wait a minute, there's somebody else listed here. And the one. Which one is last week?
The Tuesday, the 15th.
What's on the
was
screen is last week? Okay, it'll be the
okay.
sound bath with Donna Shannon this Thursday at 4 o'clock. Oh, I guess the 17th is also coming up. That will be Katie as well.
And also, 17th.
What day is this? Thanks.
It's
I'm
last
okay.
week's slide.
Gotcha.
We have the events all listed on the website, so if you're confused, just go to the website, unityrenaissance.org, or the app.
Clearly, I'm confused.
Right?
This is where that comes in handy. Come on up, Jolene.
All right, our
Oh,
spotlight.
yes, we do have a spotlight with Jolene. She's going to tell us about the ministerial search, and I'm waiting with bated breath.
Well, good morning. When I had the opportunity to be on the Ministerial Search Committee, I was really happy about it because I've been coming here for almost 30 years, and I've experienced 4 ministers, and this is the 4th transition that I've experienced. And I thought that I might bring some reassurance that we're going to be fine. We're absolutely going to be fine, and we're going to be fine for a number of reasons. One reason is this time we have a transitional minister with Reverend Richard Bunch, and I know we're all aware of the 2 monthly services that we've asked him to provide for us, but he does so much more with so much devotion and love behind the scenes that most of us aren't aware of. So really deeply appreciative of him. And then I also know we're going to be fine because of who Unity Renaissance is. And that's us, okay? That's all of the people here. It's the community here. And the community today is not the community it was 30 years ago. I mean, some of us are still the same people, but many of us are not. It's an ever-changing community, but there's really a continuity to it, and it's a remarkable continuity. And I want to say that I think part of that has to do with this place, and I mean Unity Renaissance on this ground here. When I came here in the early 90s, it was shortly after this church was built and had been dedicated, and one of the things that we used to sing had the words, "Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place." And I always really felt that the presence of the Lord was in this place. And when Reverend Elizabeth came, she got angry at us because we would close our eyes when we sang that. And she said, "No, you have to look at each other. That's where the Spirit is. It's in one another." And I'm like, Yeah, I'm with that, but the Spirit is also in this place. It's remarkable. It's a remarkable place. I think it's a sacred place. So all that said, the search committee is a really diverse group, and we work together very lovingly, and we have some spirited discussions, but we work together well. We put together, I think, a great packet, and we've built the process that we're using for screening candidates, you know, looking over their applications, evaluating them, discussing them, asking additional questions, and then conducting interviews. So it is in good hands, but we really, really, really hope all of you are providing your prayer support for this process to attract the right and perfect minister. And as you know, the prayer box back out there outside the chapel is a great place if you want to jot something down and put it in there, and it will be prayed over. So, and I'll be available out in the narthex if anybody has questions after church. So.
All right. Oh, okay. Are you just going to talk about it? So
I'll talk about it right
now.
No, you don't.
We don't have to talk about it for you.
No, you don't. I'm actually
But
here.
before he gets to talking, I have to tell you, I've been reading his book. I'm about halfway into it, and it's absolutely fascinating, and I'm learning a whole lot about history and how religion and spirituality fit into it. So that all kind of fits in. So you can talk now.
Whatever I paid you was clearly not enough. So, well, you know, two famous Americans who you'd know by name said that eventually a new thought type of religion would become the predominant spiritual expression in the nation. Not the predominant religion, but the predominant religious expression. So I don't know about you, but I'm still waiting. However, we seem to be in a very critical age. We're at an age that some historians are calling a great gate in history. So what is ours to do? How will we show up? What is the consciousness that we're going to bring along with us? Well, in this class coming up, that's what we're going to try and find out. Because the colliding and the collisions and the convergence of belief systems can be very messy sometimes. But sometimes it can lead to something quite amazing. So in this course that we're going to be studying in September, it's going to be weekly on Wednesday nights, we're going to be looking at things such as the mystical core of this nation and the future that new thought is going to play in the future of our country and in the future of the world. We're going to look at the divine feminine and the mystical roots of African American spirituality and the civil rights movement, and how those who have been furthest from the levers of power, women, people of color, and folks who have not been powerful, how those people have shaped American consciousness and how it's going to shape our consciousness in the future. We're also going to be looking at atheism and how that can actually accelerate our spiritual growth. And finally, we'll look at science and how it is coming oh so close to demonstrating the timeless nature of our soul. Now, this is only going to be by Zoom only. Eventually, some of our classes will come back into the sanctuary. Zoom only for 4 Wednesdays in the month of September, starting at 7 o'clock. The cost is $20 per class, or $75 for the entire series. And all classes will be available by video afterwards. So sign up on the hall wall or go to the Unity Renaissance website or our app. And just as a reminder, when these belief systems do collide, it can look rather messy and chaotic. However, we can choose to allow these events to usher in a new dark age, or we can be a creative force behind a new age of enlightenment. Come and join us. That's what we're going to try to find out.
Definitely sounds exciting.
Yeah. Okay, during the ministerial search time, we have a member of our board available after every service. And today it's Ann DeMichael who will be available. She's going to hang out here in the sanctuary, might wander out into the narthex depending, but either way, look for that turquoise print. You'll find her.
And the big smile. All right, and next week, Reverend Richard Bunch will be with us again for our Sunday talk, The Human Predicament, Freeing Yourself from Bondage. So we look forward to having you again. If you join us up on the platform for the prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yeah. There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment